All right, now we got some quick hitters. In today's episode, what the hell's going on with Becky Lynch? Is she back? Is she gone? Is she a mother? We're going to find out. There's a new title announced, but we need to know the burning question of who will be the first champion. We're not going to go over whether or not it's a fact title. And AEW gets embarrassed again on their own night this time. Quick hitters, something that is known as your favorite segment, it's known as my favorite segment, and it's known as everybody's favorite segment. It is known as Cheap Pops.
What does everybody want? What does everybody need?
Oh, another cheap pop.
What does everybody love?
Oh, that cheap pop is there for the taking.
So we start off with where we're going with Netflix. So if you saw Raw, they did announce that there's going to be this European tour during WrestleMania. I think they said like pretty much all of WrestleMania season it's going to be on a European tour. So it being a European tour, usually those shows are taped. But according to Netflix, they are open to the idea of airing the show live, wherever it's from. So they're going to be in like Spain, Scotland, England, and Netflix is open to doing those shows live, which means for our local time, like Raw might be live at 8 a.m. one day. It's just going to be a floating time while they're on the tour.
Whatever time zone of the country they're in.
Yes. So I initially thought it's a good thing. We get to watch it live. I got to tell you, when it's a taped show, I pretty much have to stay off the internet because everybody likes to spoil it ahead of time. Because you get on and they're like, oh yeah, there's a video of what happened after the show, or this is going to happen on SmackDown. Like, why are you doing this? So you can watch it live while it's airing. And then if not, you can watch the replay at your normal time. So I think this is a win. And it also shows like how flexible Netflix is going to be. So yeah, it'll work out. If you're on a schedule, it's going to be a rough time for you, I would say. Oh yeah, sit down, I have my dinner, watch Raw at 8 o'clock. That's going to be a rough time for you. But again, it's taped, so it'll be good for you. Also to note though, Netflix is definitely investing in this wrestling thing. They're willing to move the time. There's a story that they want. Effectively, they're trying to end the brand split because, like, we want Roman Reigns. We want all the top stars. Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, John Cena. Doesn't matter. We want them on Netflix.
Why wouldn't they want the top stars?
Yeah, they absolutely should, but it would effectively mean brand split's done. It kind of is done right now anyway. But,
yeah, what the hell is up with that?
well, I think it's just like a WrestleMania build thing, but if it continues after WrestleMania, yeah, it's done.
WrestleMania is in April.
I'm sorry, Survivor Series. If it continues after Survivor Series, then yeah, just call it. It's over. But yeah, that is the Netflix
They're gonna have all these
thing.
titles on one brand. Stupid.
No, they'll be floating. I don't know. Yeah, they would have to take away titles if they do it. I don't know. Netflix doesn't care about all that. Becky Lynch, she's made some news recently. There was a debunked rumor that Becky Lynch was offered a $2 million contract and she declined it. Again, that was
reported
debunked.
it, Meltzer.
Actually, it was, of all people, Jonathan Coachman.
Oh yeah, I remember it. Yeah.
And yeah, Sean Rossap with Fightful, he got word that that didn't happen. And if she did get offered, it would have been more money. So there was that rumor killer. But then also, we had Seth Rollins. He was on the Pivot podcast. And he was talking about the moment that Becky Lynch decided that she wanted to be a mother. This ties into the whole wrestling thing. So he was talking about there was a moment back during the lockdown when no fans were there. And I remember this moment. She had this moment with Stone Cold Steve Austin. They were in the ring. They were supposed to have this beer bash and acting like they were having a great time, but there were no fans there. And it's like, this beer bash is supposed to be with people, but there's no people there. So it was really awkward. And Becky, she was like, I don't want to do this for however long that we're going to do this being the pandemic era. And we talked about having kids, and I was like, well, if you don't want to do this and we can be here for 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, 9 months, I really thought we were going to be there for a year and a half. But either way, you know, that was the perfect time. Again, this ties into everything.
What was supposed to be a year and a half?
The pandemic era.
It was supposed to be 2 weeks, wasn't it?
I don't know. And it also happened so damn quick, too.
It's kind of funny how nobody gives a shit about it now.
and no one really cares about it. So this is, 4 years ago or whatever it was. But it was then she decided that she wanted to do the kid thing. But the tie-in there was he also then went on to talk about how hard it was having a kid in this situation, being wrestlers and being on the road for so long, having to travel all the time. But they're lucky that she's in a position to be there with the kid. So we got the news that she got the contract. It got debunked. Seth Rollins had this interview the same week. So it caused a bunch of stir with Becky Lynch. And then we got an eagle eye fan who went over to the roster page and noticed that Becky Lynch had been moved from the alumni page, which, if you're no longer with WWE, you're in the alumni page. And she had been moved back to the active roster page, meaning she is with WWE or signed or whatever. So she may be back, Becky Lynch. So it nullifies my whole thing about she's gone forever.
Unfortunately.
So big time Becky Lynch may be making a return. But she's done everything, man. What is there left for her to do? She's won all the titles.
Well,
Which leads us into the next story. See what I did there? If you watch SmackDown, WWE announced that there is a new title. It is a women's title. It is a women's United States title. And that may be why Becky Lynch is coming back. We can go ahead and just say it. Yes, there's too many titles. Yes, this title's unneeded. Okay? Let's just get it out there.
Shit, you're killing all my shit.
Well, I know that's part of the conversation. But if you had to take a guess, who do you see being the first United States Women's Champion?
Well, they could have Stratton do it. She has the briefcase. You know what?
Cash in on that thing?
Yeah, they could do the whole fucking tournament. You could have, no names, which I'm sure they have plenty of those. You can have like the Jades, the Baileys, the Bianca. Even Charlotte can come back. They do the tournament and they build up to the finals of the tournament. It's a big fucking deal. And they have this match. And it looks like there's finally going to be a winner. And out comes Tiffany Stratton. She cashes in. And she's the first U.S. champion.
I see the vision.
But they'll probably just give it to Becky Lynch or Bailey or somebody stupid that doesn't need it for reasons.
Yeah, my options for the first inaugural champion, it's either going to be Bailey or it's going to be a returning Charlotte Flair, because she's due back, or with this new information, a returning Becky Lynch, because they did mention that it's going to be both Raw and SmackDown superstars competing.
I obviously don't know Charlotte Flair personally, but she doesn't seem like the type of gal to get a secondary title.
She doesn't want that crap. She'll throw it right in the trash.
Yeah.
I would agree with you normally, but this is the right to etch your name as the first one.
The Charlotte that I have pictured in my head, I don't think she'd see it that way. I don't want to be the first loser. I want the top prize because I'm a fucking Flair. I'm the queen.
I think Roman Reigns said something to that effect too. Fuck your little mid-card titles. I don't want any of them shits. I don't think he's won one either. But yeah, there was a story a long time ago about him refusing to win the title, like the United States title, because it's the secondary title.
Must be nice to have that luxury.
When you bet on yourself, I guess. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out and who the first inaugural champion is. I'm trying to stay on the positive side here because, again, I know there's not a lot of negativity with the title.
It's their fault. They haven't built up any goodwill with the current titles, like any of the titles. It's not just the women's titles. Like right now, they're all just kind of floating. Everybody there doesn't seem like they're trying to go for a top prize. They're just there to play a part, and they're just props for the guys that they want to carry.
That's true.
And
when Roman Reigns had it, it was the most important thing.
It absolutely was. He had it for 1,000 fucking days. He never lost. He was never pinned. Yeah, it was the top prize in the company. That's what Cody was trying to finish his story for. He had a chance to go after the other belt, and he said, no, I want the top prize because that's the important one. Cody gets it, and he just has it. It's not all Cody's fault, but he just has it. Same with Gunther. Gunther's belt. He just has it. LA Knight just has his belt. Who's he going to feud with next? Oh, Carmelo Anthony or Andrade, who he just wrestled.
Is he?
Probably.
He wasn't even on the show.
He wasn't, was he? Who's the Intercontinental title holder? Oh, Braun Breaker.
Hadn't been on TV since he won it.
Don't get me started on the tag belts. I don't know why there's 2 men's tag belts and only 1 women's tag belt. Or it's not like the men's division is so much deeper than the women's.
If I did have a concern, they don't have enough women
No.
to hold up a division for this title. Okay, let's say Charlotte Flair wins it, or Bayley, or Becky Lynch. A lot of people have this delusion that Chelsea Green's going to win it.
I could see that too. I could see Chelsea Green holding it, and then it's a joke title.
Yeah, it's no different than the 24/7 title. She holds it,
Mhm.
and she's a good wrestler. But she's a comedy act. If she was treated more seriously, or she acted.
But
I don't
even
know
if
she acted, but
even if Charlotte Flair won the title, give it a year or 2 after that, and Chelsea Green will eventually hold the belt, and it'll be a joke and an afterthought, and nobody will give a shit about it.
yeah,
It's going to be the shiny new thing for a while, and then it's just going to die.
and then it's just going to be another prop, like the tag team belts, the women's tag team specifically. I'm talking about. That's what they're trying to do with the men, but yeah, the women's tag team belts are literally just there. But let us know what you think on that. Who's going to be the inaugural champion? And again, it comes with its flaws, but we are there. And then our last story, AEW. They get embarrassed again by the developmental NXT. This time, they're on their own night. So NXT moves over to Wednesday because of that thing that happened. So on AEW's night, the developmental brand of NXT managed to pull 619,000 compared to AEW's 523,000.
Were they at the
Beat
same
you up.
time?
Yes, head to head, same night. And of course, the excuse brigade came out. NXT is on the CW, which is a major network, which means they're in more households than AEW. That was
What network is AEW on? Aren't they on TBS or TNT?
I don't know anymore for Dynamite. It's one of them.
I think that would have more clout than the fucking CW.
Yeah, and it's your night. Like your
That too.
fans know where you are and where to find you. It's not like
the
you're on a
NXT
different
fans
night.
traveled for an away game and showed up.
Yes, NXT fans are on an away game. They still won, and it's just getting to a point where it's embarrassing for AEW. 523,000 people, like that's dangerously low.
I told
Dangerous
you
to what? I don't know, because they just got their new deal. But
when we first started doing this, I told you that they were a joke and you wouldn't want to believe me. And now you see, I was right all along.
the sickos are dwindling away.
Because their product sucks.
It's for the sickos.
Their
I can
product
recognize
sucks.
it
They
as
have no
nothing.
vision. They don't have story-based wrestling.
Yes, they're trying the New Japan style, and it's just not a thing. Like just some of where the headspace of the AEW crowd is. Remember Randy Orton got the pile driver done to him on SmackDown?
Yeah.
So the AEW crowd, they were complaining about it. It shows you how far gone they are, because one of the fans that went kind of viral said they didn't get why the pile driver spot happened on WWE TV, as it makes Randy Orton look weak. I see pile drivers every week in AEW, and people get right back up from them.
If he did his research, he'd know that the pile driver was outlawed. Kane and Undertaker, I think, have been the only ones that have been able to do a pile driver. And that was since Austin broke his neck.
Yeah, it's been outlawed. Now, CM Punk has pulled one off on John Cena. And I didn't know that, but the internet told me.
Either way, it's really rare.
It is rare. But it just shows the mindset of the AEW fan. Oh, yeah, I mean, we see this every week. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing it every week is not a good thing. What you saw on WWE shows you, how it can be special. And like what the Undertaker said when he talked about it, it's not about the moves. It's about the story you tell. Because you're just going to get to a point where you got to escalate and escalate and escalate. And then, the fans just are numb to it. Like
they are now.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we're at a point where all the wrestling moves have been done. So, you're not going to show me anything new.
You're just going to show us variations of stuff.
Yeah, you can only escalate it so far. At some point, you can tell a story, which is what wrestling's about. Telling a story in the ring, and then you don't have to flip and flop all over the place. I don't want to put it back there, but, you don't have to do pile drivers on steel steps and it being no-sold. Let's keep it there. You don't have to do Canadian destroyers on the apron only to get back up at the count of 9.
That's true.
But yeah, AEW, I guess they're happy with where they are because they just got their new contract. So they don't need anything to change. But just funny that, NXT moved into their night. beat them down. And I got one last excuse for you. Maybe a superior product aired on your night, and that's why your ratings were so low.
Oh.
It wasn't the network. It wasn't Big Bang Theory lead-in. It was a superior product in your same niche. Was on your same night.
Stop it. They're already dead.
Of course, let us know what you think in the comments below on that. Let us know what you think of everything in the comments below.